G. Today we have an amazing project that involves watercolors and melted crayons. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and like. Here's the quaint cabin we're going to make today. For the materials you need cardstock paper, pencil, eraser, a box of watercolor tablets, 3 different kind of brushes, a flat head, a fine tipped and a round head, a cup of water, glue, ruler, different size caps that are circular in shape, but they have to be different size so that I can cut out different size circles from the melted crayons, toothpicks and a knife. I have used an aluminum tray and parchment paper. This is very essential to this project that you use parchment paper. And I've used gray crayons and I've used some white broken pieces of white crayon also so that the gray isn't very dark. And I've also made sure that the aluminum tray that I have used is flat so that it's a smooth, when it melts, it's smooth. And then I have used another tray, a flat tray, parchment paper, very important, and I have used yellow and orange crayons. I have put the yellow and the orange in 2 different parts of the tray so that when it melts, it mixes in certain parts, but at the same time, it will also have yellow and orange. For carving out the fence, I'm going to use a knife. You don't have to use a knife. You can use any kind of knife, and you can also use toothpicks, which I had shown you before. But if you want to use a knife, ask an adult to help you. As you can see, I have drawn lines here with the knife while it's still little warm, not very hot, and V at the ends of it to give it that fence post-like shape. Once I'm done, I'm going to set this aside to dry. For the drawing, I will start with an A, which is kind of like the 2 legs of the A are like sliding apart, and for the roof of the cabin, and then I'll draw 2 perpendicular lines and at the bottom 2 horizontal lines. And then I go ahead and draw parallel lines to the roof, and then the chimney. How can there be a cottage without a chimney? And then a rectangular shape for the window and 4 more rectangles in it. Make sure that the window and the door height is the same. And then I make the wood frame around it. This is like a rustic looking cabin, so I'm going to make sure I show all the woodwork on the door. All the wood planks on the door. And once I'm done with that, I'm also going to show the woodwork on the wall, on the outside wall. And then I'm going to draw the outline of a tree. Make sure you don't add any leaves or anything, just the trunk and a few branches of the tree. And the 2 lines at the bottom I'm going to just draw. You will know what it is for. And then I'm going to trace it with a Sharpie, which I love to do, as you guys know. And once the tracing is done, make sure you don't trace the bottom two lines. I will start painting. I have used black or dark brown, mixed black used with a little bit of dark brown to fill in the trunk of the tree. And the window panes also, I've made them black, and also the chimney top. And then I painted certain other areas black. Make sure you use a rag to dab the brush every time you change color. And then I've colored the door, painted the door, yellow, and given the windows also a little bit of yellow outline. And then I'm using a green. You can use any shade of green. This is a shade of green that I like, so I used it to fill in the house. And then I'm going to make some white rings on the trunk of the tree. Once that is done, I'm going to mix black and a lot of white to make it gray, and go over with a very fine brush over the two horizontal lines that I had made. Now I'm going to peel off this parchment paper, and the cutouts that I had of the fence, I'm going to pull them out from the parchment paper and clean them and lay them on the two horizontal gray lines. And once I have enough of them, as you can see, I have some broken ones, but that's not a problem. I'm going to glue them just like there was a broken piece of fence and it got mended. Now I get the circles out and I glue the circles like they're leaves on the tree. Make sure you use all the different sizes of the circle, not just one. And this is our finished product.